Hello, my fellow unrepeatable allegations. I'm Mr. Church, and today we're going to be building a new camp in Skyline Valley. We're south of Big Meadows gas well. There's this big clearing, and there's this cabin here that's all beat up and broken down. And there's a dog that lives here too, so he is going to be our pet. And I have been deceitful. I just made my 30 locations video for lots of great places to build in the Skyline Valley, and I didn't include this one because I want to build here, okay? And that's corporate greed in a nutshell, but basically what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be building inside it, and also I'm going to make a little extension off to the side of it, expand it a little bit. This is the dog I was talking about, by the way. He statically spawns here. He just walks in a circle around. He's very cute. That's nice. That's fine. Now, I started off on this side here area, and we're just going to be building a 1x2 spot, and I have been working on this since Wednesday when the update went live, but it's taken me quite a long time just because of the amount of lag that I've been experiencing in the build menu, and it is worse than usual, I will say, and you'll see it in the video. It's really quite bad. And it's worse in free cam mode, I've noticed. Anyway, I've just so happened to be able to line this up perfectly so that we get this flush extending roof, which looks really nice indeed, if I do say so myself. And in this side area, I'm going to have a way to get in there, and we'll have the crafting benches and stuff in there, and then I'll have a living area in the main part of the cabin. So with this cabin, I want to be telling a little bit of story here that of what's going on in the cabin. Before we do any more building in there, I'm going to create this temporary platform with this flattened roof. And I'm going to burn those two roof pieces that I placed in there. And that is going to allow us to build inside that area a lot easier. Because a lot of times, if you're building in a place that is only half a wall high, the items you place down will pop up through the roof, or they won't place at all. If you burn them, you don't have that issue. And I usually like to do that if I'm building in a space like that. And I'll just leave it burned until I'm done with all the decorating in the inside of it. Now I'm going to create a blueprint here, and so I'm going to place a rug. I'm going to take a half wall, place it on top of that, and snap a catwalk to that. This is going to be a free place half wall, and the carpet being underneath it will allow you to place it on top of a foundation. It'll work perfectly. I'm going to use that to place it in here. If you want to see this or other blueprints like it, I will link a couple of blueprint videos that I've made that go over in a lot more detail these blueprints and blueprints like it that make building a lot easier. But I'm just going to put two side by side, and we're using this to cover that gap so that we can't see underneath the cabin from this side room. And I'll just have it on the bottom, so that's why we're doing a half wall. If I did a full wall, it would stick up through the roof, and it would ruin that perfectly smooth extension that we've added. I'm going to put shack walls on it, and also abandoned mine walls on it as well. I'm going to use this stool to get inside and out, because a lot of times the stuff we use to glitch in and out is very obvious of what we're doing. Like if you have a cooking stove next to it, obviously what else are you going to do with that? But this will blend in. I got the idea to use this stool from Drago, and his camps have been featured quite a bit on Uranium Fever channel, and I'll link I'll link one of his builds in the description if you want to check it out. He's really good builder. Anyway, I got the idea to use that stool specifically to do this from him, but inside here is just an amazing interior space, and it doesn't do any of that weird flickering that sometimes glitching into buildings will do. I don't know if they plan to add anything in here later on, so if you're watching this in like many months or moons or years, and there's something here and you can't build here, that's probably that's very unfortunate. But for now, let's glory and revel in the lack of content and use this space for our own glory and love. Now I'm going to create something beautiful here, which is a way to get under the map. And so I'm going to be using this pressure plate. If you pick it up and put it back down, the button will become more depressed than I've been the last couple of months, and it will allow you to drop merge this bottom rug on this stack of things. Picking it up and putting it back down on that depressed button will sink it down. Well, actually, no, I'll say it again. You're pushing the bottom carpet up into the stack of items you have already. That's what's going on there. This allows you to have this contraption, which, when I pick it up, you'll see, is a really nice thing, because this allows us to go under the map, and that second carpet will give us a platform to stand on while we're down here, but it's all being held up by the carpet above. I do this in a lot of my videos. Sometimes I think maybe I shouldn't include all that, just to speed things up a bit, but when I do, I get berated and screeched at in the comments section. And so I'll just put it in every video from now on. Now, I won't be able to remove that last half wall here because it's holding up the roofs, but if I burn it, then I can get rid of the foundation that's holding it up. So that's what we're going to do. I'm trying to get rid of the... See how these wooden foundations have that ugly netting thing on the side, or on the sides of it? I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of those, and I'm going to put in some walls in there instead, and then we won't have to deal with that. I think it'll look a lot better. There's just something very build menu-y about this. Already, the Fortress Catwalk is in your build menu right now, so go build with it, have a lot of fun, enjoy it, and if they take it away, complain about it and be sad, because they shouldn't give us stuff and then take it away, because that's bullshit, in my opinion. And also, if the reason why we're under the map is so that we can snap these in, they'll snap to the bottom of the catwalks. We're not able to do that from above the ground because of how low into the ground we're going. Snap over by a full, go back under the map. And I'm using free cam to toggle between being above ground and underground. It really speeds things up. And I'm going to be doing that when we're building inside the cabin as well. I'll go in there with my character, and I'll keep free cam outside in case I need to go outside for anything. So you're just going to use the catwalks to kind of... scaffold over to where you want those half walls, go under the map, snap it to the bottom of there, and then once you have that in place, the dog will try to walk on your stuff, but that's fine. You can come back above here, and as you can see, that looks a lot better. Look at the lag, though. It's pretty terrible. But yeah, we'll leave this one here. I don't need to worry about that end piece, because that will not have a hole. Don't worry about it. You're always seeing holes everywhere, especially in that one guy's story he told about that one thing. Anyway, you can use lots of these roofs. I'm started off with the Rest in Pieces roof. I really like it. I ended up changing it out later. Oh, yeah, I forget, and I fell. And that's fine. You don't take fall damage when you fall out of the map, so don't worry about it. I think the edge of that looks way better, and also with the roof edge covers up that crack, so we don't need to worry about putting one on the end there. You can if you want to. You just don't have to. Now you can put the walls back in, and it won't take too long because I can cut out all the scrolling and screaming that I did, which happens when you have all the wall pieces shuffled up, like a deck of cards. Now, this is how we're going to get in and out of this side room. I got the idea to use this radiation glove box from Vapid Valentine, and I'm going to link her channel, and I'm also going to link the video where she does this in because it's one of her best builds. She's extremely talented, and she has a lot of really cool Fallout 76 camp builds on her channel, so definitely check her out as well in many different ways. And you can put this sticking out, and the cool thing is it has these different pipe thingies, which looks really fucking cool, and it also is interactable. So we're going to shove it through the broken wall, repair the wall, and then when we're outside, we can just interact with that to get inside. And that's going to be, again, where I have my crafting benches and stuff, just as a little workshop area. I went too far, so the blue's sticking out. I'm going to redo that real quick. All right, so that's how it looks after I've redone it. You can still see the blue because I'm using the abandoned wall, mine wall set here, but you can use a different wall if you want something else. Now you're going to go inside your own mouth, and you can see the inside of my lips looking pretty good, and that'll get you inside. And I'm going to create a way to get out now so that we have, a way in and out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this wall here, and so just burn it with the fires of hell and all the scorn that you've been able to achieve in your short life, making enemies with as many people as possible because you refuse to get therapy. Now, you can you don't have to do this part if you're doing what I'm about to do, but if you want to stick something that's taller through the wall, switch it to this specific fire hazard top arch, or you can use the brick top arch and then burn that, because the other top arches will turn yellow. This will allow you to have an empty space. If you want to stick something through the wall and it's higher than half a wall, that's how you can do it. You can flip it and then burn it, and that gets rid of it. But I'm going to put the chems bench backwards up against the broken wall. It'll allow you to do that because the wall's broken. Otherwise, it'll say the furniture entry is blocked. But this is going to be how we get out. The chems bench is cool because it doesn't really look like the back when you look at the back of it. Like, there's some panels and stuff. And when you interact with it, it puts you outside. So that's going to be how we get out of there. And of course, you can just repair this and put it back how it goes. And again, if you wanted to have something else interactable that's taller, I just wanted to include that. That would be how I would recommend doing it. But let's go inside. I've been working on the inside, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to show you as much as I would like to, because, like I was saying before, the incredible lag is just getting so bad, and it's worse in the floor decor because of the intense lag is increased by how many items are in each tab that you're in. So the floor decor is one of the most full and messy, and so when you're in that menu and you're moving around, the lag is so bad. It's like a stop motion animation. It's absolutely terrible. So I wasn't able to get much footage of actually decorating in there, but we'll do an extended walkthrough a little later on, and I'll show you exactly what's going on in there. But I did want to include a little bit more of the specific decorations that, are a little more tricky. So I'm using this method that I got from Mareka Wolf, and I'm going to link her video in the description as well, where I learned this method. And this is the easiest way to get items on a chessboard display to look like they're just sitting around. It's the really good way. So for something big like this, I just place it on top of a baseball, or you can use any small item, and then you're just going to drop merge it down using the pressure plate. And so the baseball will go up and stick through the chessboard, but it's still holding everything up. So you can pick up the baseball and you can move that shit around. And you can use the surface to test to see if you've gone far enough, but don't use this wooden foundation as the measurement, because it has an indent on the top. Use whatever surface you're going to be building this on as your measurement, because they're all different. And I don't know if those words made sense, but if they didn't, what you can do, don't worry about it and move on, okay? Anyway, so like I said before, we opened FreeCam outside, so what we can do is go into build menu, and then you go into FreeCam, and so you're outside, you pick up the item, then you go back out of FreeCam, and now we're inside with the item. It's a really great way to get stuff from outside to inside, from above to below ground. It's really nice. And we're going to put this battery... I'm actually going to change the chair out, but we're going to keep the battery here for nefarious reasons, which I'll explain in a little bit. But to expand on the nefariousness, I'm going to make a little table with weird instruments sitting on it next to it. And also, shout out to the clear weather machine, because the dreariness around here was getting to me. Anyway, I did the same thing here, but instead of the baseball, I used a poker chip. I wish I could use something else. I wish I had a different, smaller item that would work for the vibe of what I'm doing here. But for now, I'll use the poker chip. If I get something else later on, or if they give us something else, I'll switch it out. But for now, I'll use that. I'm going to be putting this on here, and I'm going to be putting maybe some other stuff as well, like this duct tape, which I merged down. And this is actually really forgiving. You can shove the poker chips into each other, which is one of the reasons why I use that. Like I said, I wish there was a little bit something else. But when I have all the items that I want on this table, it's going to really be quite the vibe, It's going to be stuff that you haven't seen since the last time that you were at your uncle's house. And I think that we don't need to talk about that anymore. But as long as you're talking to somebody about it, because it keeps coming up. We call that subconsciously, your subconscious is trying to work through that trauma. But unfortunately, not everyone is equipped to handle those kinds of conversations. So you want to kind of save it for people that are, first of all, you know, able to handle the conversation, but also want to and prepared to mentally and emotionally instead of just because if you don't, that's called trauma dumping. Okay. And if you want to know what trauma dumping is, watch any of my other videos on my channel, and you'll get a good idea of where I'm coming from here and what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm going to do the same thing again. I did switch the chair out. As you can see, that one is from one of the scoreboard rewards. So you go out of free cam, you go into free cam, grab the item, go out of free cam, and place it down in here. It's very cool. But as you can see, there's some weird shit happening by putting the tongs and the duct tape and stuff next to this chair. You can tell something creepy is going on. But I just want to show you guys, first of all, this is an item you can have for free right now. It's just, you get to have it, but also I wanted to demonstrate some of the lag that was going on. I'm just spinning. Like, I'm not stopping and then going again. As you can see, it's much worse in the floor decor tab than it was in the shelves. This one's terrible. I was trying to like move up and down and spin around like that like that is not viable. Okay, so that's why it's taken so long to make this video, but I hope that you guys enjoy the build. I've enjoyed building. It's just the infuriation and rage has been a little hard to deal with. Anyway, I took the moth chunk that I got from the Mothman event, and I put it underneath this lantern so that there'll be moths around this lantern. And I'll do the same with both of the lanterns that I have in here. And also, I got some, the swarm of flies, and I'm going to drop merge it down into this autopsy table so that there's flies buzzing around this dead body, but I don't want to see the stuff, you know, the meat chunk as well. I just want to see the flies themselves. And it was in this moment that I realized how much I had been taking FreeCam for granted. Like, it's really nice. And when you stop using it for a minute, because I didn't want to use it in here so that I could have it outside in case I needed to grab anything out there. And so, like, just tripping on everything and getting, you know, everything's in the way. It's pretty fucking annoying. Anyway, I thought really added a lot to it. Also, some weird shit can happen sometimes where items will pop down through the floor. And that can be really frustrating. You can go out of free cam and kind of grab those stuff as well. One of the ways you can avoid this happening is by putting big rugs down. Sometimes it'll also help keep stuff from popping up through the ceiling as well, to put big rugs in there. That's why there's some rugs underneath where I have like the little bed area. But another thing that can happen is items will just not place at all. They'll be green, but they won't go down. In the same situation that's happening, that's trying to pop down through the floor, but it's not quite able to. That's why it's turning red. So just blueprint that one item. And I usually name these blueprints like 0 or something because I'm just going to write over them later. And then store the items so you don't have to waste resources. And then you can go into the blueprints tab after 45 minutes of lag, and you can place down that blueprint. And that will allow you to place it down. I did do this in my last build video to show you can use that method to build underneath things where items will pop up through. But you can also do it in places like this where it's kind of trying to pop down through the floor as well. But yeah, you can use it when items are popping up as well. And the porch was really doing this a lot. And what I want to do is kind of create a pile of junk outside the front door. And that'll do two things. That'll help kind of sell the story that I'm telling of what's going on here. But it's also going to hide and disguise the random chair that's in front of the door. Which, by the way, you could put that chair anywhere you wanted. But the porch is on the same plane as, you know, the inside of the build. But you can obviously build however you want to. And this dog is really good. Also, I wanted to show another stupid thing that I noticed is when you're trying to build the stack of ammo from the season pass or whatever you want to call it nowadays, you have to have the bullets in the ammo or whatever on you. Oh, goodbye. You have to have each of the bullets on you, and it doesn't pull them from your ammo box and presumably from your stash. I didn't actually try putting them in my stash box to see. Hopefully that's something that they fix/address. As far as I know, this is the first time that they've made anything cost ammo to build. So they probably just, it's probably just an oversight, not that they ever do that, but it's very annoying to have to go and pull that shit out, and then, you know, a lot of times I don't even want that. And one last thing before we go through and I show you the whole build, is I'm going to drop merge down the cryo freezer, because you have to have this at all of your camps if you have stuff in there, because if you switch camps and your camp doesn't have one in it, the stuff will start rotting. So you have to have one in all of your camps on that character. And so it doesn't really match the vibe of pretty much any camp that I ever make. So I don't like it. So what I like to do is drop merge it down into some item. And then I can kind of shove it somewhere out of the way and people won't really see it. And if they do, it'll look like a little plastic cover of some kind, which could be a well cover, it could be something like that. Or you can have it completely under the ground fully, and it doesn't really matter because you don't really need to access it. If you need to access it, I can always pull it out or I can use a different camp. But let's look at the completed project. I really like how it ended up looking. It looks really run down. It looks really kind of junkalonies. And I think that, yeah, I think that it's something, what a treat this is. So the idea here is we have a pile of stuff. Oh, hello, pupper. I don't know why he's sitting there looking at it. So basically, I wanted it to look like an abandoned shack, and then I kind of let whatever is going on and the vibes that I'm getting tell the story, and that kind of guides how I end up building it and how I decorate it. So it started, like, I was going to originally make something kind of clean on the inside, but it ended up feeling different, and when I went inside there, I was like, oh, this kind of feels like, you know, someone's holed up in here or hiding away. So why would they be doing that? What kind of person would do that? And what would they have in there? And that kind of helps me decide how I'm going to decorate it. And maybe if they fix the lag in the next build I do, I'll show a little bit more of my decorating process to show that in real time. I think that will be interesting. But again, I want to be able to like do that without it taking 45 minutes to put down each item, because that'll be annoying. Anyway, that's where I have all my crafting benches and stuff. And if someone stumbles across this, unless they know how to do that, they won't really be digging around through your stuff, and it'll remain an abandoned feeling. I piled up a bunch of stuff in front of the door, like I mentioned, to disguise that chair, and also we're barricading this cabin closed. We don't want anyone going in there because something weird was going on in there, and luckily, it's not happening anymore, but we haven't been able to clean it up since. So it's kind of just, don't go in there, barricade it so no one stumbles across it, etc., etc. However, when we go inside, it still is set up the way that whoever lived here had it. So what's going on when you look around here? You have a dead body on the table with flies. There's a fridge next to the body with blood on it. There's a little bed in the corner. There's some kind of weird interrogation chair with tongs and tools next to that. There's brains in the jars and boxes of ammo. There's workbenches. There's traps. There's something happening here, right? And the story that I want to be told probably doesn't need to be said, because that's part of the fun of it, is people that look at it can kind of be like, oh shit, you know, and they know what's happening without you having to be too specific about it. But if I were to apply more specificity to the story, then I would say that whoever was living here was obviously doing something fucked up using human beings, and probably was some kind of scientist or something, and he was experimenting on them or harvesting their organs or something creepy and fucking weird. And I have this pile of chairs over here to kind of blend that chair in too, that's sitting by the door, because that one didn't make any sense if it was just sitting there. So that's kind of to blend that stuff that way. We have the wood stove over here, and again, moths around this lamp as well. Just add another detail to the build. I put some cobwebs around. I put the flies there. I like the ghastly light coming out of the monitor there for the TV. But yeah, something creepy was happening, and you can definitely tell that whoever lived here was doing something bad. And so there's definitely a sinister feel to it that I wanted, and also the fact that it's barricaded shut is just, to hopefully feel like, oh shit, like whatever was going on in here isn't happening now, but it was. The cobweb there is fucked up looking, and that thing was popping over to the left every time I placed it down. It was really weird. I don't know what's going on with that. The cobwebs are terrible to work with, and I hope that they won't. But wouldn't that be cool if they like fixed them? You know, I don't know. Sometimes I don't plan out the jokes that I tell. You know, they just come to me organically. Like the fact that they might fix something like that. What a hoot, you know? What a knee slapper. What a knee slapper that is. Honestly though, I have really been enjoying the new update. I really, really like the new map. I love that they added a new map. I'm not as excited about the season pass this season, but let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. But yeah, as you can see, you can still get out of there. You don't get stuck on the pile of shit. And maybe someone's really had a bad day in there. But I don't know. I really loved building in here. I'm really excited about the other things that I'm going to build. Thank you so much to my patrons and channel members for your support. I really do appreciate it. If you guys are interested in supporting me in that way, the link for that is in the description. Make sure you guys are in the Discord. I do stream on Twitch as well, so follow me on there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.